Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather around for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the sheer face of Half Dome, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt will be your compass, your confidant, your companion as we explore the wonders of travel. So sit back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust whoosh over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt on the Yinz Goin podcast because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shot for your guide through the highways and byways of travel. Your planning partner, the man with the map, Matt Schraeder. How Ian's doing? Welcome to the Where Ian's Going podcast. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me again today is Amanda.
Hello.
Amanda's been on so often, I think I have to start charging her rent for
I
taking
know.
up residence here. So this is going to be another one of the compilation episodes with this topic this time being must-do trips. So we're just going to talk about amazing trips that you'll regret missing if you don't go on it. So
Hmm.
again, one Amanda is going to bat lead off for us, and she's going to say like, travel around the world and hit every spot. And
Well,
then
yes. I mean, that's definitely a must do, but I would say so my favorite place in the world is always Disney, but we know this. So I think that if you are a Disney lover, the must do trip that you must take is a Disney cruise. So I grew up going to the Disney parks and I love theme parks. I love Disney, just Disney in general. I grew up working in customer service. So for me, I tend to pay attention to the Disney way of, cast members and customer service. And it's kind of spoiled me for other places to go because I like look at the way other hotels are run and base it off of Disney resorts and the way that other places, are clean. They're not quite as clean as Disney, you know. But even cruising, like I've been on multiple cruise lines. Disney Cruise Line is probably my favorite out of all of them, and specifically a Bahamas or Caribbean Disney cruise. Castaway Key is probably my favorite island ever that I've ever been on. Um, I just love being immersed in the Disney, but you're not running from place to place, you're relaxing. So it's a totally different Disney vacation, but it's still in the Disney universe. And I just love how the ships are literally like a floating theme park because there's so much to do on the ships, but you can choose to do what you want to do or you can relax. So that's kind of my must do if you're a Disney person.
and here I thought Amanda was going to say, you have to go to Marceline, Missouri. Marceline.
Right? There's really not much there that you would, if you're a Disney person. It's a must do if you're a Disney person, if you're a Disney historian person, but not quite. It's a short trip, really.
So,
But
but Amanda's definitely going to come back because we have not done we've been negligent. We have not done an episode on Castaway Key.
I know.
We've done one on Disney's other island, the Lighthouse Point
Mhm.
um, one. So we got to have you back for that.
Yeah, the water is just the most beautiful shade of blue and clear, and the sand is so clean. It's just, oh, I could live there. I'll move in. I'll be
And
fine.
now something you're not going to get on a Disney cruise with that, but whenever we went to Puerto Rico, flying back home, going over some of the Caribbean islands and um, the Bahamas and the little islands there, and just looking down and seeing the color of the blue
Hmm.
surrounding and I guess a lot of the ones we saw weren't, very big or inhabited, but the small little things. But just even looking at that, it was like, Um, flight attendant, do you happen to have a parachute that can just, drop down in there for a little while? So it just looks so amazing from above. And, if you ever been to a tropical island, whether it's in the Caribbean or elsewhere, seeing some of those places with those white sand beaches and then the water that is so crystal clear and like it's a different shade of blue.
It is. It's my favorite color.
I'm a blue guy as well, so I'm right there with you. So there you go. Disney cruise. We've talked about several different Disney cruises on this podcast, whether it's the one to Alaska. We've done one with Mandy and her daughter Zoe. Zoe gushed about it. We're gonna have
Hmm.
another one eventually of another Disney cruise that my one friend went on. That if he would ever come on, Fish. His name's Fish, and he went on a cruise, so it's like perfect, right?
Right.
So yeah, Disney cruise. I think Amanda said it best. It's the amusement park that's on the water, but you don't quite have the full temptation of a Disney park of the atmosphere of we have to go, we have to go, we have to go.
Mm.
The stuff is there and it's more convenient, and yet there's also that the pool's right there to relax, and so you can. It's like with one of those choose your adventure novels,
Yes.
choose your vacation thing. That okay, today we're going to do this, and tomorrow we'll do this, and okay, for the morning we'll do that. And it's a lot more convenient. You don't have to worry about going back to your hotel, and it's all right there.
Right.
Plus the food,
Oh, the food is fantastic. The food is so good on Disney Cruise Line.
the chicken tenders, they win high marks.
Mickey waffles and unlimited ice cream.
And that's the other nice thing.
24-hour ice cream.
Sign me up.
I can
So,
get Mickey bars, 24-hour room service. I can get a Mickey bar whenever I want.
and there's Amanda's travel tip.
Amanda follows the food. Let's be real.
We've established that
We've
before.
established that before.
So for mine, it's going to be a little bit more general advice is that we've talked about this on the podcast before, but it's definitely worth repeating. Is that when you travel, always bring your passport. Even
Mm,
if you're only going to a domestic destination and you don't need your passport, take your passport. It's always good to have that backup form of identification in case something happens to your driver's license or whatever government issue ID you're using. So I lost my driver's license once in Chicago on the way home from a trip that I went through. It was going through security that I, showed it and got in, and then going through the X-ray stuff, it got set down on a conveyor belt and or something, and by the end of security, I did not have it. So they eventually did find it and mailed it to me, but I'm just glad it was on the way home from the trip and
hmm.
not like on the way somewhere, or else that would have been a completely different story and might not have gone quite so well. Also, make copies of your important documents or take pictures
Yes.
of it now with your phone. So, your driver's license, your passport. Uh, I always have written down my itinerary and my um, flight
Plane
numbers
tickets.
and check-in things and
Yeah.
the hotel and the reservation number and the address and all of that
Mm,
just in case something goes wrong. If you lose anything, this can help out. If you have your, oh, I lost my passport. Okay, what's your name? Do you know your passport number? Okay, I have the picture of it. Here's what it looked like.
right.
And things along those lines. It can help you in the process of getting a new one and working through all of this craziness.
Hmm.
So, Amanda, how can people get a hold of you?
I am available on social media at both Facebook and Instagram at Dreams by Design Travel with Amanda, or I can be reached by email Amanda at dreamsbydesigntravel.com.
Here at the podcast, we're on social media on Facebook and X. We're at Where Yinz Goin, Yinz Yinz Goin Goin with the apostrophe. So, Amanda, thank you again. We'll have you back
Anytime.
for more fun and excitement in the future.
Of course.
And everyone else, take your Disney cruise and thank Amanda for it.
Yes.
And talk to her. She can help you book that for you
Yes,
too.
I can.
So, very good. We'll talk to someone else coming up in a bit.
All right.
Next, joining us are my daughter India and my wife Ayu. So, India, welcome back. Ayu, it's good to have you here.
Thanks. Thanks.
So, both of them are going to be on together because they both experienced both of these things. But Indy wanted to talk about our trip to Indonesia as the must-do thing, and Ayu wanted to talk about our trip to Malaysia. So, Indy, let's start with you. What did you like so much about Indonesia that other people have to do?
I liked about everything. Probably everything.
Everything? Can you tell us some of the things that you were doing there? You forget. Well, let's see. First, we went to mommy's hometown of Banda Aceh, which is on the northern tip of Sumatra. And where did we stay? And what did you get to do when we stayed at we were at Oma's guest house? So this is like you can rent a room, rent a little apartment type thing. There's a few of them there, and then there's like a little plaza that you can park cars in. So it's kind of like, front yard thing. So there's like a little play area. And who was in the little plaza area that you like to play with?
Maybe I need to help you a bit. Yeah. Do you remember? No, it was so long, 100 times. Do you remember the cats that were outside? Oh yeah, it was in the garbage in our church.
Yeah, the cat. And what was the cat's name?
Tim Tim.
Baby Tim Tim. Yeah, and Tim Tim sometimes played in the garbage, so we had to be careful with that, huh?
And then you remember what else you do? Your friends from the neighbor? No.
You went over their house a lot and you would eat food.
Food and she has a grill, and then she chases me all around. What's their name, Mama? Sehan. Sehan and who? Yeah, it was Sehan and Carla, I think. Carla and Zeha. Do you remember we met Sarah? Yeah, we meted our cousins. I
And
need to talk now.
what else did we do in Indonesia? We got to go and we went to the little festival thing at the park.
Yeah.
And,
Play and I went in the big slide and then I flipped.
well, when we were in Banache, we went with our friend. We went to go to a private swimming pool and we got to swim in there, huh? So there are a couple public swimming pools, but there are some places that they will rent out. They have a pool in their backyard and they'll rent out the pool. And we got to go and we rented one of these pools and we got to spend a couple hours in their nice little yard that was all very private and we got to go swim in.
Yeah. Padang you got fish. Yeah. What else you do? No, I want you to attack mommy. Okay.
I think it'd be better to hear it from you, Indy. Mommy's to tell some things, yeah. A- And you were catching the fish and they had the giant inflatable things to jump on. You caught the little fish and they had the little fish thing where you would catch all the fish and we had to take some home, huh? But then we couldn't bring them home. So what did we do with the fish? We put him in the sewer. Yeah, we let him go, huh? And he swam away. And
The rice and then all the would go down.
yeah, we fed him rice, huh? Because everybody in Indonesia eats rice. And then you also got to drive the little motorcycles. And so for everyone else, these are like little power wheel things. Oh, there was a haunted house too. Was the haunted house scary? Yeah, everyone else wants to hear it because they weren't there. The Ponchong, which is the Indonesian ghost.
It has one whites and it has 0 whites, and then you walk, and then they give you changes, and then you can cry. So you walk, and then a little ponchon try to jumps on you.
Yeah, the Ponchong came out and jumped on you. And then they had the Ponchong bus. The bus, yeah, the haunted bus.
But we didn't get to do that.
Yeah, we decided against it because we thought it'd be too scary, huh? Or at least some people thought it was too scary.
But okay, then go then.
Okay, next time we can do it. And we also went to the beach What beach did we go to? Lampook, and it had what do we get to do at the beach? We did the banana boat. And what happens when you ride the banana boat?
I flip over.
It goes fast for a while, then they make a sharp turn and you fall in the water, huh? Then you get to do it again. Then they dump you in the water again, huh? Did you like getting dumped in the water? Although someone was a little bit scared, huh? Well, we'll talk whenever. And then where else did we go? We went to from Banache. Then we got to go to, well, that's later on, but we went to Maidan. And who do we see in Maidan? Do you remember?
Bangladesh.
No, Bangreza wasn't there that time. But what did we do there? We got to go to the water park, huh? And this is the one that he said before that had all the water slides. And you have to go on all of them, huh? Yeah. And they had the wave pool. Well, we didn't go in the wave pool because they didn't start that till later. And then we were about ready to leave when they started the water. So that's the one thing about Indonesian water parks is they don't. Yeah, you got ice cream almost every day, huh? Sometimes twice a day because it's so hot there, huh? But yeah, they don't always open the water parks. They don't open everything right at the start. They might open the park and let you in, but they don't turn on all the water slides.
He likes capybara.
The capybara, the little animal, yeah, the most friendly animal in the world. And we saw them at the little zoo we went to.
All the dolphins. Remember that?
And they tricked me about something.
Oh yeah, we got splashed by the dolphins too, huh?
He said, would you like to kiss them?
Oh yeah, Indy almost got a chance to kiss them, but yeah, they ran out of time and the dolphins had to leave, huh?
Oh, 2 years ago
Seal.
in Pulauware. Remember we went to island snorkeling, see dolphins.
Oh yeah, we were out on the ocean. We saw the dolphins swimming by us, huh? And they were little boats too, and we got soaked on the way back. And then we went snorkeling, and you got to see all the fish. And I went scuba diving. No, we saw them. I didn't eat them while I was swimming around. How did I know what? You have the thing in your mouth so you can breathe air, and you have the tank on your back with the oxygen. You got to see us. Oh, I think I know. When we were at Ancol, we went to Ancol Samudra, and Samudra is the Indonesian word for ocean. I think you like the mermaids. They had a mermaid show that there was a big aquarium with a bunch of fish in it, and then the mermaids went in and started swimming around, huh? And then what were the mermaids doing to you? They were giving hard hands, and then what'd they do with the bubbles? Heart bubbles. They would blow bubbles, and they would be able to put it in the shape of a heart. That was pretty cool. And who'd you get to touch? What animal did you touch when we were there? It smelled, his hand smelled like fish. The otters, yeah. There was a little hole that the otter could stick his hand out because they were behind glass, and they could stick his hand out, and usually you would hand him a fish, and they would take the fish, but we didn't have any fish, so he just put his hand out, and then he got to shake his hand, and it smelled like fish though. And they had the penguins there too, and then possibly Indy's favorite thing to do over there is whenever we went to Atlantis, which was the water park. So Ancol is kind of a resort, northern part of Jakarta. It's on the Jakarta Sea, Sea of Jakarta, and it has the Samudra, which was like kind of like what I would call a SeaWorld type thing. They had what they call SeaWorld, which is another big aquarium, which we didn't get a chance to see. There was Atlantis, which was the water park, and then they had Dufan, which was their amusement park. And so Dufan, Dufan, like do fun things when you're there. But Indy loved the water park. Because what was it, the water park that you went on so many times? The drop slide. So this was a slide that you would kind of stand up, you would be leaning back a bit. Yeah, and they kind of close the front on you, so you're like in this little tube, and then the floor drops out from underneath you, and you go down the thing super fast. And Indy went on that so many times. It was so cool because she was big enough to do it, huh? And Indy also went on the other slide where you get to go down on your mat head first, and you go down and then straight and then down and straight. It's like a yeah, you got to go on that because you were a little bit scared to do it before, and then you got to do it this time. Oh, and then when we were in Banda Aceh, we did well, translation is Deer Park. So it's was it Taman Rasu Rusa. Taman Rusa. And there was a swimming pool there with some water slides, and you got to play with a bunch of kids. And then they had a couple little rides, and we did the what did we do there on the water? What did mommy and I go? We pedaled around on the paddle boats. What was it shaped like? It was a swan. Yeah. And then we got to see a couple animals there too. We got to see the monkeys. And what were there were tiny little monkeys and they were giving each other hugs. But then what happened? What did the little monkey do?
Try to chase me.
Oh, some of them were trying to chase you. That was on Palau, yeah. So Palau is a little island that's north of the northern tip of Sumatra. So it takes what was it, like 45 minutes on the fast boat, an hour and a half on the slow boat to get there. And there's a place there called Kilometer Zero, which is the northernmost part of Indonesia. Well, the northernmost inhabited part. There's some other islands that are farther north, but this one is the farthest with the people. And it's a little area called Sabang that's very popular with especially Indonesian tourists as a way to get away, place to get away. And there were some wild monkeys that were there, and the monkeys started chasing after Indy a little bit because they got a little bit too close, and she was, yeah, Indy kind of tried to tease them a little bit.
Yeah, because they would do that. They would chase me all the time. Oh, I feeded them bananas.
No, I don't think we had. Oh, yeah, that was in Kuala Lumpur. But yeah, anything else? And are you doing anything else about the super fun stuff that people have to do in Indonesia?
Forget the food.
Dimpan?
Yeah, the food is delicious. Is there a favorite thing of food that you just can't wait to get when you're over there?
You always has to buy noodles every single day.
The ramen, huh?
Then
Yep, the ramen from the restaurant with the robot. Remember that?
Oh yeah, so there's a restaurant that has this little robot on wheels that has like shelves in the back.
people come and touch it, and then I don't know what it says.
And yeah, he has like little eyes and a little face on it, like a little screen. And so he comes around to your table, and then you can take your food off the back of it.
Very advanced.
Yeah, that was a fun thing. That it was a big hit with seeing the robot deliver your lunch to you. We went there a couple times, huh?
He likes it because it has playground in there.
Oh, yeah, we found there's a lot of indoor playgrounds at the different restaurants, and even one there was like a grocery store that had little. Oh no, it was the restaurant that had the little playground outside, but the grocery store was right next to it. So whenever we went food shopping, we could Indy got a chance to play. And what's different about the Indonesian donuts?
It was all over my face.
Well, yeah, that's when you were eating it, but how did it taste?
Was it yummy?
Of course, yes.
But it's so good. Better than any donuts here.
Mainly because it's not quite as sweet, huh? But you like the stuff because it's not quite so sweet, huh, Ayu? And that's a big thing that in Indonesia, sugary food is not a big thing. That it'll be more of a some things are salty, some things are savory, but they don't have the very strong sweet taste to it. So all the sweets that they have are more of a muted taste. But then after we went to Indonesia, we made a trip to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, which depending on where you're going from Banda Aceh, it's only about like an hour and a half flight, although there's a time zone change, so it seems longer when you're going there. from Indonesia to Malaysia. From Jakarta was like a 4 hour flight or so, I think. 3 hour.
No. But Kuala Lumpur is like
Two and a half. About that. Was it less? Because I thought it was a little bit longer coming from Medan down to Jakarta. I thought that
6,002 hours.
is it only okay. The planes over there are not necessarily built for someone who's 6'1". So
It's a racist airplane.
racist airplanes. I use mom's house as racist too because the one place, well, they're remodeling it now, but there was a step that went down and the ceiling there was kind of low. And I don't know how many times I banged my head on that before I realized, hey, I have to duck some, huh? But moving on to Malaysia, which was IU's favorite place to visit, and this is her big must-do thing. And Indy liked Malaysia too. So, IU, what is the big thing about Malaysia that you like so much?
So Malaysia has a couple things. It has a city, the Kuala Lumpur. It's a really fun city to spend time. It's a big city with all facility, all cool public transportation,
Yeah, it's a very modern city.
very nice restaurants everywhere, and very clean. That's very important.
And people clean it because their germs was on the table, so they make sure they clean it every single time when people eat.
Yep, and that's another thing that in Indonesia there are some places,
Saliva is on the table.
well, hopefully not, but people eat sometimes with their hands, and that's why they take so in Indonesia, if you don't have rice, you haven't eaten. Because a lot of times they'll take the rice, take a little bit of rice in your hand, then you pick up whatever protein you have, whether it's fish or chicken or something, and then you eat it that way. Just make sure you clean your hands beforehand.
Yeah, what I really like about Malaysia or about Kuala Lumpur maybe, it's because all that nice stuff and it's affordable. It's
And it
cheap.
gives you coffee.
They are cheap. I mean, if we compare to United States, they have a very good facility. Everything is good, clean, nice, and they have facility. We talk about like a modern city, but price wise, they are very cheap.
So what was the distinction that IU said that some places you can go, like in Europe, especially like Switzerland or something like that, or down to Australia, is that it's going to be a nice place you're going to visit, but it's going to be expensive. When you go to some places in Indonesia, especially like IU's hometown, it's a small village. I mean, it's not a huge city. It's not super modern. It's cheap, but you're not getting that, modern, upscale city experience. But Malaysia is that nice, or especially Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia, is that nice combination of it's in a very modern city with all the, normal amenities you're gonna get in a big modern city, but it's also not too expensive.
Yeah, and then we went to, excuse me, we went to Genting Highland. It's in the north, in the mountain, northern part of Kuala Lumpur. So I really like that area because it's cool.
And that's the thing.
It has a big shopping mall. And then, well, the nice thing is it's cheap again because it's a resort area with swimming pool and everything, but the price is very affordable.
Trade will say it's inexpensive because when you say cheap, it sounds chintzy. But yeah, it's inexpensive. But Kuala Lumpur, again, it's in the tropics. You're, very close to the equator. That it's going to be very hot. It's going to be humid there. But going up the mountain, you get a little bit of a cooler air. So it was, there were actually sometimes where it was a little bit chilly that we needed a jacket up there.
Yeah, and then we went to the amusement park, Sky World, which is a lot of stuff to ride. And then the best thing is we get to go to a durian festival where we get to eat a durian on the spot.
And so durian is a somewhat infamous fruit in Asia that if you go to hotels or even when you rent a car, there are signs and you have to sign things. It's like it has a very strong smell. It's not like a bad stinky smell, but
But
it
it's delicious.
And I tried some before.
And India likes it too.
Not kind of. This 50-50.
is 50-50 just okay. But yeah, it's a very strong smell that even whenever you eat it, you have to, well, they recommend that you put a little plastic glove on so your hand doesn't stink. But you are not allowed to have it in hotels or in your rental cars just because the smell is so strong that it will stick. And so you're going to smell it for days afterwards. So yeah, don't try and sneak it into your car or anything because they'll know. And so Kuala Lumpur, it's Kuala, which is like the mouth of a river, and Lumpur is mud. So it's the muddy mouth of a river, which is how it got its name. But Genting Highlands is about was about an hour drive up the mountain.
Oh,
And
50.
yeah, and driving up the mountain,
Almost 50.
yeah, driving in Malaysia is a bit better than driving in Indonesia because in Indonesia they have the best drivers in the world, but nobody follows any laws. So you always have to have your sixth sense or using the force to make sure that you know what's going on around you, and you have to definitely have that situational awareness, uh, so you know what's happening with everyone else driving around you and doing whatever they're going to do. Especially with all the little motorcycles that will zoom past you, especially when you come to a red light.
Yeah, Indonesia is too much people, too many people, road too small, crazy.
In the one trip, whenever we went to what was it, Mickey's? What was it, Mickey's something?
Mickey's holiday
Mickey,
lane.
yeah, Mickey Holiday. It was it was a couple hour drive from Medan, and you're going up these switchback mountains. That's just a two-lane road, one in each direction, and people are passing each other, and there's all these big trucks. So it's you're playing chicken with a pickup truck or a dump truck sometimes. Whenever you're trying to pass people going into the other lane, so it's a not for the faint of heart with driving there.
Mhm.
And then India really liked in Kuala Lumpur. We've gone there a couple times. That it's called Batu Cave.
Oh yeah, Batu Cave, the place where a lot of monkeys.
And Batu is the Indonesian and
Yeah, so many
Malaysian.
monkeys here.
Yeah, and Indonesian and Malaysian languages are very similar. That you're going to get a lot of common words there. There are
First, people were trying to get them and caught them. And then they tried to do, and then they got them. But we were trying to save them, and then we saved them, and then we were going down the hill, and then we saw monkeys and gorillas.
not in Kuala Lumpur. Whenever we were at the big temple and we were in the big plaza, and what did you get to do with the little monkeys that were climbing all over the place?
Feeding them.
You got to feed the monkeys. Yeah, what'd you feed them?
We were saving them.
Oh, that was. We'll talk about that later on. Yeah, there was at Genting Skyland, the one ride. They had a Planet of the Apes ride that it was like a trackless ride that you would go through, and you were on a mission to find the head ape so that you could tell him that the bad guys were coming, and we had to save the monkeys, and we had to hide from the bad guys, right? Auntie Olfa, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got some bananas. It was expensive bananas.
And then we gave it to them.
Yeah, they were small bananas. They were about about half the size of what you normally get in a grocery store here. I might call it like little mini bananas.
One on me.
Monkey would, yeah, if you would hold the bananas up, he would grab them. But in the one guy, he was holding it up, and the monkey climbed up his shoulder, huh? But it's pretty neat seeing how fast they can peel those bananas and eat them, huh? And there were a couple other little baby monkeys that the one pretty funny that the one, no, definitely not, no, because they might bite you.
Wild monkeys, they are not vaccinated.
No, not the babies.
Yeah, the babies too. Yeah, they're just monkeys around this plaza that they know that's where people are, and the people will feed them. So of course they're smart monkeys. But it was pretty neat watching them just on their own. That there was like a parent monkey, whether it was a dad or mom, who was holding the tail of the baby monkey to make sure it didn't go too far away. So it's kind of like, parents that have their kid on a leash type thing. He was holding the monkey, the tail, and the monkey was, just walking around and just making sure the baby monkey didn't go anywhere. But yeah, we fed the monkeys a couple of things of bananas, huh? Yeah, they're overpriced. Of course, it's a tourist thing. They're making money off it, but you're paying for the experience to feed the monkey, not just buying the bananas.
Yeah, next time if we go there, we need to buy bananas from grocery store, not from there.
Yeah, and so batu is the Indonesian word for rock. So it's rock cave officially, if you want to do the translation. But there's a bunch of steps to go up to was it Hindu cave or was it a Buddhist cave? Or the temple? I think it was a Hindu one. I don't think it was Buddhist. I don't remember seeing the big Buddha statue. We saw that in Thailand though. But all the steps going up are different colored, and they paint them, and then you go up, and women have to be covered at least down to over the knees. So if you don't have it, they'll make sure you wear a little shawl around your waist, a little skirt type thing that they'll loan you or maybe let you rent for a few bucks. And then you can walk up to those. But you didn't go up this time because it was uh, kind of humid that day, and we had a plane to catch, and we didn't want to get all sweaty. But me and Indy went up, and then in the cave, they have some areas that are sanctioned off that they, make sure you take your shoes off because it's a holy place that people go to pray. But there are other things you can walk around. It's pretty impressive in that cave. It's big. We did that before. And then the view from up top is pretty neat, although there's a lot of smog.
Oh, actually, my favorite thing about Indonesia, I've not talked about Indonesia yet, right? My favorite thing about Indonesia is the salon. Because
Yeah,
salon,
because it has a head thing, and then you put your head in there.
yeah, whenever she talked about she get a hair spa. There is a thing to put the head on it, and then they wash your hair, and then they put you with some cream on your hair.
Jesus.
Oh, that's the other thing. But whenever we went last time, India and I, we did couple treatment. India did hair spa, and I also took her for a massage, full body massage. She really enjoyed it.
Yeah, with the head thing, they give you the head massage too with the hair spa. And the thing about in Indonesia, since it is a largely Muslim country, it's the most populous, primarily Muslim country in the world. What is it, number 4 overall? So it's like China, India, US, then Indonesia is the um
Maybe.
that's the rankings. But the women who are Muslim typically wear the hijab, covering over their head, and they're not supposed to have a guy who's not their husband or a close relative to see them without it. So the female salons are women only, and so it's closed off, so you can't see in. So it's only women in there getting the treatments.
Yep. So Daddy didn't get to do hair spa.
That he also doesn't have too much hair, so it wouldn't have helped him much anyway.
But it was so nice because it's cheap. Because cheap. It's very inexpensive. Compared to how much I have to pay for the same service in US, it's like maybe like a not even a quarter of how much it is regularly here.
And that's the thing about Indonesia.
Tip.
Yeah, tipping's not expected in a lot of the countries. So
It's the best.
yeah, Indonesian, the rupiah is the money, is the currency there. And it's what, like 16,000 rupiah is $1. So, you're going to pay for something. It's like, oh my gosh, it's 3,000 rupiah. Well, you're paying like, what is that, 20 cents?
Yeah, to put into perspective, for the massage, full body massage for, what we did, one person is like an hour massage only costs less than $10. That's how nice it is. And it's so nice.
Yeah, we get to the problem where there that IU thinks in terms of Indonesian money of, oh my gosh, this is so expensive, or we shouldn't do this, it's expensive. And then I'm thinking in American dollars of, okay, this thing costs $4. It's not a big deal. She's like, yeah, but that's twice as much as it should. It's like, we're paying an extra $2. It's okay.
That's the best thing about traveling to like Asia or Southeast Asia.
Now, the one thing in Kuala Lumpur that I thought was interesting, and we've been there a couple times, that they have English radio stations and a good chunk of the people speak at least some English, and some of them speak it very, very well.
Oh yeah, Malaysia is very different from Indonesia in terms of English speaking people.
Although in the big city, like in Jakarta, there were a good chunk of people who know, or pretty much throughout Indonesia, that people know a little bit at least, enough to say hi or something along those lines. They're not going to have a big, deep conversation, and especially some of the kids. They know a few word, a few sentences, kind of like India knows in Indonesian of "How are you? What's your name? Where you're from?" And that's about it. And so they'll ask you the same thing 10 times because that's the only English they know. That's Spanish. Hola. Remember how to say "What's your name" in Indonesian, Indy? Siapa.
Siapa nama kamu?
And then when someone asks you that, what would you say? Mm-hmm. So she's learning a little bit. You're not tahun anymore. Enam tahun. So enam is 6, tahun is years. So 6 years old. You would say berapa umur kamu? How old are you? Then you would say mau ka main? Do you want to play? And so the other thing with Indonesia or with Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur is the Petronas Towers. And so these are, two, they're fairly famous, two big towers that are connected by like a sky bridge. And the one neat thing is in one of those, there was a little museum that we went to. It's like,
Not eating Yama. It's going to Tower of Terror.
well, that's Disney, yeah. Well, and she just muted herself, so I'm not sure if you heard that.
Her, her not her favorite thing is actually going to Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror in Disney, yeah, that's mommy's. But the Petronas Towers that had the little, I guess, like a science center, hands-on museum type thing that we got to go to. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like almost like Carnegie Science Center.
Yeah, so anyone who's in the Pittsburghish area, the Carnegie Science Center, and yes, in New York it's Carnegie Hall, but in Pittsburgh it's Carnegie. The different emphasis on the different syllables there.
Then
Same person, yeah. Just people call them different things.
it's okay. The size is different.
Yeah, but at the Petronas Towers, also at night they had a like little man-made lake type thing, a big pond, I guess you would call it, and they had the water show.
Yeah, with the water fountain, with the music and colorful. It was so fun.
And then I normally stick my hands in there, then do udu.
Yeah, not in the fountain there.
And I normally just I stick my hands in, and then
Yeah, making wudu is the ritual washing before you pray, before a Muslim prays. And so because you're on the ground and your hands are on the ground and you're putting your face on the ground, you need to be clean so you're not spreading germs or other stuff. Okay. So, but the little water fountain show, they had that I think it was like every hour, starting like it was like 7 or 8 o'clock, and they went to like maybe 10. So it was a couple times a night that they did on the hour.
Times each night, 7, 8, 9.
we went it with my friend.
We went to see that with Auntie
Auntie. Yeah, so some of my wife's sisters and brothers and their families were there.
And then Uncle.
Yep.
Tahim.
Hey, in Indy, what did you like when we went to Genting Skyland? Besides the monkey ride, that was the Ice Age one that we got to go on there. And we got to see the little show where they were dancing up on stage. No, this was the Ice Age stuff. And they had the one little ride that's a little boat that goes back and forth, kind of like on a half pipe thing that goes up on one end and then it spins as well. So you get like turned in all kinds of directions, huh? We went on that Indy went on that a couple of times. I only went on it like once because that was enough for me. No, not the Splash Mountain, the one that went back and forth and then spun to the little boat. Oh, but yeah, they had this one that was kind of like Splash Mountain up there It's a log flume ride that well, I forget the show that it was uh themed to. Epic, yeah. The ride just wasn't epic, but it was the movie Epic. And then they had the little hanging roller coaster that we went on. There was a small, just like two-seater thing, and that was kind of unnerving that you're up there. But it didn't seem like that sturdy. It wasn't a very long one too, and the line was a bit too. So that's the other thing. The line was a bit longer than advertised. That they said it was like a 15-minute wait, but it turned into like a half hour, 45 minutes. It was a lot longer wait than they said it was. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I don't think in the quite remember which one is which.
Yeah, kind of all
Talk about
blend.
this ride, she makes Disney riding. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
And plus, we went to a couple amusement parks over there with the Taman Rusa and then Dufan at Ancol and then the Genting Skylands. It was just, there were rides that she remembers.
so I think she can distinguish which one is Malaysia, which one is Indonesia.
Yeah, because the people were speaking similar languages, looked kind of similar. Although with Genting Highlands, we went to our resort, which was up the mountain, and then we got onto a cable car and got to go up higher mountains, up into the clouds, and we like went through the clouds up. There's like a cloud layer that settles there, and so you go through the clouds, and you're still going up, and that's a bit unnerving too if you're not able to see what's below you.
Normally, I go to Disney World. My favorite is Slinky Dog Dash.
Yeah, we talked about that on the other time you were on the podcast, huh? All right. My favorite, I think it might be Rise of the Resistance. Yes, we went on that. This is the one where you were bossing the people around. Whenever we got captured by the First Order, Indy kind of became a First Order agent and was bossing people around, huh? It's either that or Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the roller coaster with the music. So I want to thank you both for joining me. That was a lot of fun. Are you looking forward to going back to Indonesia next year? We haven't planned our next trip though. We don't know the new and fun things that we'll do over there. So that's it for now. We're gonna head to well, me talking about Yosemite National Park.
Bye.
Bye, you fun.
So talking about the must-do visits or must-do vacations or things you can't miss. I've talked about it here before. My dad and I talked about Yosemite National Park as my favorite place to visit. It is the most majestic place I have ever been. No, I guess I shouldn't recommend this because if I recommend it, more people are going to want to go, and that means more crowds for me. But if you have never been out there, you will not regret going. If you've been out there, you know what I'm talking about. That we always fly into San Francisco and then make the drive. There's two different routes you go. One is a little bit northern route. I believe it's on Highway 140. There's a little bit southern one that I believe goes 120. Don't quote me on those. Both ways, I've done both. They're pretty neat and they're scenic. I like going the north one, I think a little bit better. Um, but either way, you go by these as you're leaving San Francisco, hundreds, maybe even thousands of windmills. That is an impressive sight to see all these windmills on these hills. And then as you go through like some farmland where they're growing pecans and almonds and different, different trees of this or that, pistachios maybe even. And they have little stands set up by some of these farms that you can actually buy the fresh produce and fresh nuts or whatever else they're growing. So that's if you're into supporting the local economy and local farmers, there's your opportunity. Going through a couple of small towns, you're going to go past the was it Don Pedro Reservoir, and then you start going up the mountains into the Sierra Nevada and going up some of these switchbacks and these climbs. It's don't look over the guardrail too much if you're afraid of heights. But then you go through the Stanislaus National Forest. It's just gorgeous scenery all along the 3.5, 4 hour drive, depending on if you have to stop or which route you're taking. And then you start to get in, you see the peaks of Yosemite, and as you're going around a curve and you see Half Dome in the distance, then you'll see El Capitan, and then you get into the park. And if you're coming from the south, you get to go through Tunnel View, and the park just opens up, and it's that postcard image that you see so often of Yosemite that just opens right in front of you. And no matter what you want to do and your level of fitness and how you want to plan your vacation, there's something to do for you. If you want to get into the history of it and the Native American culture, they have things at the visitor center, and there are tours you can take that tell you about the Native American uh, legends of what Half Dome was. And there's a story that goes with everything of how it was formed, and it can really make the park come alive for you. If you want to just do some easy hiking, there are some very nicely paved trails that are wheelchair accessible. So anybody with mobility issues, it is available, accessible to you. Taking the drive up to Glacier Point, nice and paved, easy walks. There's gift shops, there's restaurants there, so you can have a real nice, easy trip if you want to, see some gorgeous locations, and the scenery is amazing. There are some moderate hikes too if you want to take some offshoots of that and maybe work up a little bit of sweat, go off a little bit rougher terrain. And then if you want to do some major hiking, get really off the beaten path and away from people, that you can hike all day and maybe see a handful of people. There are some of those trails that, uh, if you're in good enough shape to do them, oh, by all means, do it. Make it doing the cables on Half Dome. Make sure you have your permit, but that is an experience that you will not forget. And even whenever you're walking around, look in different locations or in different directions. Look behind you. Even climbing the cables at Half Dome, if you look over your shoulder and just the space and the feeling of being that high, and looking around, and whenever you're on the ground, depending on where you're at, but at least growing up in Western Pennsylvania, living in West Virginia, there's always going to be something a little bit above you with the rolling hills. But whenever you're in some of those places out in Yosemite, especially when you're up like on Glacier Point, or if you make it to the top of Half Dome, or you hike or even climb to the top of El Capitan, and then just being like that feeling of on top of the world, of just the space that opens up in front of you. That's the one thing that pictures cannot, or even video cannot capture when you're there. It's that feeling of openness in space. You see you're standing on Glacier Point, and then a mile away on the other side of Yosemite Valley is where Yosemite Point is, and Yosemite Falls, and just the distance and the space that you feel. Or if you're in the valley and you're looking up at 3,000-foot granite, monoliths, and granite cliffs, and just the feeling of that, of the height and the majesty of it, it is something to behold. That the one thing I like most about going to Yosemite, beyond just either seeing the wildlife that's there, or seeing the scenery and the mountains and everything, it's how gorgeous it is with all the waterfalls, is you can go out there and find yourself, especially when you are going on a fairly strenuous hike, that you're testing yourself. You're proving that you can do it. And so you learn something about yourself. But if you're going to one of the hikes that's a little bit more strenuous and off the beaten path and away from everybody, is that you're there alone. And you just get time to think, and just the quiet. And I think you learn an awful lot about yourself. Some people say, they went away so they could find themselves. And there's a lot of truth to that. But if you're not into all that, or, not up to all that, or if you have a family and young kids who aren't going to let you go do that, there is plenty to do for a family there. Whether it's going on a inner tube down the Merced River, or if you're going to do a little bit of fishing on the shore, whether you just want to do some light hiking, whether you want to take the tour, whether you're going to just go stay in one of the hotels, you want to do some camping, whatever it is. Going down to the Mariposa Grove and seeing the sequoia, being able to walk through the tunnel tree, literally walk through a tree. There's the clothespin tree, seeing the grizzly giant there, seeing the fallen monarch, and the picture back from the 1800s of a battalion of rangers or horsemen or the military, whatever it was. They're on top of this giant tree that you can still see, that's still there today. And thinking these trees have been there for 2,000 years, some of them. That it's a great way to see nature, put things in perspective for you. And I cannot recommend going to Yosemite enough. If you haven't been there, it's an experience you won't regret. And it's one you unforgettable place. And if you've been there, you have that feeling that you can't wait to get back. So Yosemite, that's my can't miss vacation or destination that I would highly recommend. Now, if you have a destination or experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite destination or have a travel tip, feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Here at the podcast, if you want to reach us, we're on Facebook and X. We're at Where Yinz Goin, Yinz, Y-I-N-Z, Goin, G-O-I-N with the apostrophe. All this information is going to be in the episode description. So if you want to contact me to book a trip or have any questions, you know how to find me. And Amanda, if you want to find her earlier as well. So please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. If you like what you heard, let other people know. We'd like to spread what we're doing here and let other people enjoy it as well. Please join us next time. We're Hanat Nat. We'll see you later.